Okay, everyone. I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you all for hanging out with us for a long. This has kind of been a long session today, and the topic, while interesting, sometimes is not the most exciting. So we left the most exciting part for last today. 14.1 has just been released. We're actually on the process on getting ready to release 14.2 here in a couple of weeks. So you're again seeing additional capabilities being added to the Issuetrak site. So I wanted to show you a couple of things, but what I wanted to show you first was the product roadmap. For those of you who have not visited the Issuetrak website and are not familiar with what our plans are, you can always go into the Issuetrak site and go to the product roadmap. You can go down here at the top. Usually I just scroll right down to the bottom and reach it from right here.
You're going to want to share your screen.
I don't want to share my screen. Oh. Sorry about that, everyone. Let's kind of go back again. So here we go. 14.1 is coming out. So here I am, I'm looking at the product roadmap, and I want to show everyone where the product roadmap was. If you go scroll to the bottom of the list down here, you'll see some tech items. One of them is called product roadmap. When you click on that, it's going to show you our roadmap for the future of Issuetrak. As you can see, and you go back and look, it goes back to 2020 when we really started this. And you start looking at January and February and the features that have been added. The month of May is in black because we consider this as being our May delivery, 14.1. In June, we're looking at still hopefully putting out 14.2. We'll have some ability for organizational membership to be extended beyond just one org. That's going to be another exciting addition. But in 14.1, we brought you 3 different new capabilities within Issuetrak, and I'm going to kind of go over them a little bit. A dark mode. So we made this one black so you can see that. So I'll show you what dark mode looks like. An IAM Office 365 integration. The Office 365 integration helped to do some improvements to both security, the ability for speed, the ability for capabilities to really use Office 365 as a mailbox and some of its enhanced capabilities. And an ability to do a call directly from phone numbers in Issuetraks if you're using voice over IP or phone systems from the desktop. So I'll show you some of those. The other things that are going to be exciting is some of the things that are coming, because beyond June, of course, we're not going to stop. We're going to continue to add in additional features. So here you're seeing some of the things that are going to be looked at. Quick notes. What? Well, quick notes really is an ability for you to select from a drop-down and add a note. Ability to print individual issue notes. OAuth and SAML identity management additions. Increase character limits for email issue feature, because that's limited to 7,500 right now. API enhancements, anonymous issue submission, and reporting redesignation or redesign. So you'll be seeing that coming over between the end of the year. We don't know exactly when it's going to happen or beyond that, because we don't know exactly when things will happen or things could slide. So we kind of can only say about a month to a month and a half out. So keep a look at this. We update this pretty frequently as we update our list of features. Now, this may change, of course, is what you can see. But when we do put the roadmap out and we do put a release out, one of the nice things that you can do is you can go to the resources guide and you can come down here and look at things like the Issuetrak blog. And this is where I'm going to start the first one, because really what happens in here, and if I can get to the right place, and I'll pull the wrong folder as usual for me. In this folder here, I want to go ahead and take a look real quick at the release notes for 14.1. So the items are listed in here: dark mode, Office 365, click to dial. Always go in here and you can click that release notes area. So when you go especially to the help center, you'll see there's going to be a release notes clickable link up here at the top of the page, just like Patrick was just showing you. Click on that and it'll show you the doc. So it gives you descriptions of each of the features added for the link, including some items that's changed or some things that have been fixed. So always take a look at the release notes. Now, the other thing I want to do is kind of take you through a couple of these. So one of the things I want to go with is go to the blog. In Issuetrak's blog this time, it gave you a look at the roadmap. Where did I put it? This is our Issuetrak blog. So Ashlyn puts together these blog posts, and I think she puts out about once a month. And it's a good thing to subscribe to, and you can subscribe to the blog, and you can see previews of things to come. For example, here's a new feature preview of the dark mode, and this is what it's going to look like. And I'm going to show you how to activate it and show it. And why do you want it? Well, one of the things about dark mode is some people prefer having dark mode because it's easier on their eyes, because of the brightness of all of these different monitors that we use. And you also notice on cell phones these days, when you get to a nighttime view, a lot of times they'll dark down. They have a nighttime application to release some of the blue light that's shown off. So this is what we're showing you is some of the items. So here we're showing the blog, so you can take a look at some of the areas that are going to be added, and you can also get good information here. So let's go to training. Here's a normal view. How do you activate dark mode? Well, in 14.1, you select your drop down at the upper right and you enable dark mode. Once you turn it on, it's going to ask you if that's right. And then it's going to turn you into a kind of a darkened view of Issuetrak. And it's going to be through wherever you go. Again, like I said, some people prefer this view. They believe that this is easier on their eyes, whatever reason. If you just like black, this is a nice way to go as a dark mode. To disable it, you just click on disable and you click OK and you're back to normal. So quick and easy in order to enable. Another thing that's changed is in the incoming email module. Now, the incoming email module has always been changing over time. And I'm going to go ahead and do a quick ad here. In the ad section now, we had three options, one for Exchange, one for IMAP, and one for POP. And we kind of grew it from POP to IMAP to Exchange, and then POP, Exchange, then IMAP. Then we're now adding Office 365. Now, Office 365 is the newest of the protocols that we were established with. POP3 was the old one. Then Exchange came along. Then we started using IMAP. The thing is with Office 365 is it gives us a lot more security, a lot better authentication method. And I'm going to change this over because this is using a lot of the information that we use with the Active Directory as the identity management Azure connection that we have. You have to go and pull information from the Azure connection or from the connection for the application for the email. Forgive me. And you have to get that information. It is covered underneath our documentation. So what you'll want to do is go up to the circle and question mark and about managing. You'll go into the document. It says managing IAM mailboxes, and you'll scroll down toward the bottom and it's got adding Office 365 mailbox. I will give you one quick warning or one quick thing. I was doing a little research on this yesterday, and the Office 365 term is being phased out. It's now called Microsoft 365. So if you're going and looking for technical documents or things like that, you could look for Office 365, but also look for Microsoft 365. Both of them are being used in some of the older documentation. The newer documentation is from what I have seen, is all Microsoft 365. Anyway, the information that's just required to register the app in Azure is still the same. All of this is still going to be relevant. It's just a nomenclature term as we get used to things changing all the time in IT. So all of the information you need to do the connection is right here. If you've already done the Active Directory connection, from what I understand, it's just pulling some of the same information over and using that in the connection settings here. Confirm that with support before you do anything would be my suggestion. That way you don't have to go back and have a lot of failures. They'll help you try to get this done as quickly as possible. So my suggestion is when you set this up, just like with normal incoming email, I usually recommend going ahead and talk to support anyway. Takes a lot of time off. So that's the second item that's on here. So what's our third item in here? Daggone it, I can't remember. Patrick, it just went blind.
Go back to the release.
Phone call. Yeah, phone
right.
call. That's right, phone call. So the next thing that's in here is the phone call. So when you have phone numbers associated with your users, like this one, this is Mike Wright. This is my office number. So it's in my email address, so everybody knows that. So one of the things it can do now is if you happen to have a voice over IP phone, and I happen to have one that we use for a phone within the office, then what can happen is we can go ahead and pop it open. Now, I'm going to see if I can get this on the right place for you. So hold on a second. I just turned it off as usual. I have too many windows open, everyone. Anybody have that problem? Too many windows and I'm tracking across too many things here. So there we go. Open back up my Ring Central if I can get it back up. We use an application called Ring Central. And in Ring Central, then we can make calls from my desktop. And it doesn't like me anymore. So if I want to make a phone call, then all I have to do is click here. And it opens up this little option here and it says make a call. Now I had already selected Ring Central from the list of apps that were available to me, given to me from this particular option. So if I wanted to click on Ring Central, then I can click Ring Central and it would open up and dial for me right from there. So that will go ahead and give you that ability to do a direct dial right from here whenever you have the phone numbers in here. Of course, this number doesn't exist, but that gives you a quick option. But that's generally all I had to do to set it up. That may be different according to different applications that you use. You'll have to go ahead and have a conversation with your provider. Sarah, you were just asking about like dial 9 to go outside. I have a feeling that is something that you would have to discuss with your IT team because it's going to be more on the other side than it is with us. Generally, you wouldn't add a 9 to your phone numbers inside your user records, but that's up to what you end up doing. Okay. Alex, I'm going to answer that question in a couple minutes. Alex asked a question about users listed in more than one organization. So we want to go ahead and get that live. Is there any more questions about any of the features that we looked at? Okay, I'm going to kind of go into a general question and answer session. So if you have anything that you want to ask, go ahead and do it. It's not off topic. Yeah. There is no topic in here. Patrick and I are here to help you.
So we got Sarah, and she is asking if you have to dial 9 to get an outside line. Is the
we can't answer that.
I am not sure about that.
Yeah, that's one that you'll have to talk to your IT team about because it depends on how the voice over IP system is going to integrate in with this call. You may have to talk to the support team. They may even have to get the developers in order to do it. My guess is it's going to be dependent upon a lot on the voice over IP system versus us, or how the phone number is formatted in Issuetrak. I generally would not recommend adding that 9 prefix to a general phone number because people could be calling from cell phones and it could confuse them. So, but that would be something you would have to discuss. All right, next thing, Alex, this is not an off-topic thing. It's actually being addressed in 14.2. Over the years, Issuetrak has had a capability, and let me kind of go in here to the organization section. And in the organization section, you have the ability to do things like have multiple organizations listed as children, essentially, or subsidiaries to a primary organization. But a user could only belong to one. We're going to, now I'm not sure exactly how it's going to be done because I don't have all of the release notes on it yet, but it's supposed to be addressed in 14.2, where you'll be able to either have, it's kind of like a membership in a secondary organization. You'll belong to a primary and you have membership to a secondary. So I believe that's going to be your next release, 14.2. So I hope that helps you out. You'll have to wait probably about a month or so before you'll get the release, but look for the release notes and blog posts related to that because it's going to be a pretty major release in itself. We got to do a lot of testing to make sure it works correctly before we put it out there in the wild. So it's going to take a little time. Any other questions you would like to ask us? Well, everyone, I want to say thank you. It's going to be, we've got a lot going on. Issuetrak is trying to do its best to update the system as much as possible, giving you new features and new things to use. We look forward to your future feedback. Please go back to that go back here to our site. Go back to the very bottom again underneath that tech area, and you're also going to see the product feedback area, where if you have feedback requests or you want to ask a question, just go ahead and do so. It goes directly to our product owners. Now, this is mostly designed for feedback, like I said, but if you've got a comment or a title, something you want to say, that's feedback too. So we'll be happy to have any kind of feedback that you want to have in here. All right, then. And also, final thing before I get out of here, want to go back and say to all of you, these webinars are your webinars. We generally will send a survey after this webinar to get feedback, not only in the webinar, but also to get feedback on what you would like to have as topics for the future. Patrick and I will be doing these hopefully every month, as we've been doing it pretty much consistently over the last year. We've had to skip a month, unfortunately, with some events that occurred over the last couple of months. But we're trying to keep this as in the second Thursday of every month, and we're having to continue to provide you with information you want to hear. If you like these type of formats where we're talking about a specific feature, where we're talking about specific needs, or tell us what you would like to hear. Do you want to hear something on service level agreements? Do you want to hear something on outbound email or incoming email or customizing email? What do you want to hear? We'll be happy to get your feedback and say where would you like to do it, to take a look at everything. And remember to use that help center, talk to the support team. They get in touch with us all the time. So again, on behalf of Patrick and myself, thank you very much for attending, and we really appreciate you as customers. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.